Hey, I am Jared Blunt. I'm the associate pastor here at Emmanuel Enid, and I have Dave Marshall here with us, who is a longtime member, and he leads our Celebrate Recovery group. And so I'm going to let him take it over. And Dave, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, your family, what brought you to Enid?
Sure, I'd love to. Thanks for asking me those questions. First off, as we say in Celebrate Recovery, I'm a grateful believer in Jesus, and I've celebrate recovery from anger and shame and guilt, but I'm still not perfect, so I still have things to work on like codependency and control, and I'm really glad to be here. What brought me to Enid? Yeah, that's a great question. Basically, the Air Force brought me to Enid. After a full career in the Air Force, this was going to be the last place that the Air Force brought us here, and so eventually in 2002, we picked up our tent and dropped it here in Enid, and eventually found our way to Emmanuel Enid. And we came here first because of the youth program. That's what brought us here. But we stayed here because of the small groups, the worship service, the choir, and the people for sure.
So tell us a little bit about your family, how many kids you have, your wife, and we just saw one of them downstairs, and she was precious. So.
Yes. My wife, Belle, and I, between the two of us, we have 5 sons. They're all married, and we have 9 grandchildren, 7 of whom are still living here on earth. And they're all very, very precious, and we're just excited to be part of this wonderfully blended family.
Wonderful. So you lead Celebrate Recovery. We appreciate it. It's a huge ministry. I love when I get to see it come in and see everybody coming through the doors and stuff. It seems like it's really going great. So what led you to become a leader in Celebrate Recovery, and could you tell us a little bit about your personal journey?
Sure. My leadership didn't happen overnight. I showed up in 2010 to Celebrate Recovery. It was a fairly new program here at Emmanuel Enid, although it's a national and now a worldwide recovery program that's based off of the 12 steps that one might hear about in some other recovery groups, but it overarches the Beatitudes from Matthew chapter 5. And when I started, I was pretty broken in terms of my relationships with God and with other people. I was very angry, pretty much at everybody, and have shook my fist at God over and over again, and thought that maybe Celebrate Recovery could help me. So I came, tried to figure out what was going on over a long period of time. I've been part of it for 15 years, and I'm still discovering that I've got character defects that I still need to work on. Yeah. But during that process, the Lord showed me a lot of things about myself, which I was able to in turn deal with, try and make amends with people, and that process of healing inside of my own soul led me to want to give back to others who might be in the same situation or situations similar to that. And so over the course of time, I've become part of the leadership team, and now they call me the ministry leader of Celebrate Recovery. I'm the male ministry leader. We also have a female ministry leader as well.
All right, very good. Yeah, it's real interesting because I think a lot of people here in Celebrate Recovery might come in with an opinion of what you're recovering from.
Yeah.
And so to hear your story dealing with anger and different stuff, we all have so many different aspects of our lives that we need help with. I mean, we're all human. We all have some kind of flaw, and so that's really good.
Yeah, it's a phrase that we have that we acknowledge that not everybody who comes to Celebrate Recovery is there for drugs or alcohol. In fact, they've done kind of an informal survey across multiple Celebrate Recovery groups, and they've discovered that only 1/3 of the people that come to Celebrate Recovery are there for drugs and alcohol. Everything else is for a whole host of other addictions or character defects, as we'll call them, and the anger piece. And we're dealing with lots of things that we bring to the table that have absolutely nothing to do with drugs or alcohol. That was not my thing when I came. And so what that did do, however, when I came and found out about the whole recovery aspect of Christianity, was it gave me an ability to be able to experience other people's hurt and become empathetic with them to help me communicate with them on a deeper level.
Yeah. So, with your regular meetings, what should somebody expect if they decided to come check it out? What does your normal meeting look like?
Yeah, that's also a great question for the general population. We meet on Thursdays here at the church down in the chapel, and we start off with a meal at 5:15, and that meal is provided for you free of charge. The church has been a great support in that area. The idea behind the meal is for people who are working and they want to bring their families to eat. We want to provide that opportunity for them so that they don't have to go home, rush home, try and get everybody fed, and then come back to CR. So the main meeting would start at 6 o'clock. We call that big group or large group. And it's loosely a worship service. We have a time of praise and worship. We will then have either a testimony or a lesson. A lesson is based off of the 12 steps. The testimony is someone's personal journey through recovery. And after that, we would break off into gender-specific, male, female, gender-specific small groups where a lot of the meat and potatoes happen within the ability to share and not have someone interrupt when you're speaking and just to get stuff off your chest. The other aspect of CR is that it is a family affair. We have childcare available for the youngers, but then we have a parallel program for elementary and high school kids where they are studying the same thing that the adults are studying as well. And it has been amazing to hear these kids talk about may I share. So they're learning the language of recovery and the ideas of recovery right along with the parents, and it's just a wonderful thing to see.
That's great. Starting at such a young age,
Yes.
implementing those things, so they know as you stumble, we're going to stumble through life.
Right.
They know kind of where to turn, and
Right.
that's great.
You will also hear people say that same aspect called pre-covery for the kids.
Okay.
To give them the skills, coping mechanism, language, ability to speak their emotions long before it ever becomes necessary. Where most of us, myself included, had not a clue of how to speak emotions. Right. And I had a sponsor once tell me, Dave, you're either going to speak out your emotions or you're going to act them out. And for so much of my life, I acted them out until I figured out how to speak them out.
Yeah, I think especially even as men, I think we tend to do that. We don't want to talk about what we're feeling and stuff a lot of the time.
Right.
That's really good. So along that, what kind of transformations have you seen in your people? What kind of stories do you have there?
Yeah, if I can start with myself.
Yeah.
I started Celebrate Recovery just lost, really didn't know where to turn. My marriage was falling apart. And as I kept coming back, learning about the 12 steps, the 8 principles, allowing Jesus to work in my life, allowing other people to speak recovery into my life, having a safe place to share what was on my heart and in my mind, I began the process of seeing life differently, interacting with people differently, acknowledging my own failures, trying to make amends, offer forgiveness, continuously evaluate my life and apologize just as quickly as I could, made sure that I had quiet time with God and see what he would have to say with me. And then ultimately, we say you cannot keep your recovery unless you give it away. And that's actually that's the 12th step, is the give it away step. And so from all of that, selfish, self-centered person to one that I guess I would say is much more other-oriented now. And that is not a unique experience across the board. People who have been abused learn how to, within that pain, see where God was at with them. People who have been addicted to, whether it be drugs, alcohol, gambling, food, relationships, see that those were just symptoms of trying to find a hole to fill with the wrong stuff, and understand that it's Jesus that we need to fill in that hole, and ultimately allow him to come in and change us from the inside out,
Yeah.
even while others are supporting us from the outside in. And it's those kinds of transformations that come along. You will hear people say that Celebrate Recovery literally saved their life, and that's
Wow.
what's most exciting about the program.
So how do you create a safe and welcoming environment for people? I'm sure a lot of people that come in are
Right.
uncomfortable. They don't
Sure.
know about taking that first step.
Yes.
So how do you ensure that?
That's another great question. And I so relate to that because when I first came to CR, I sat in the back row. I didn't want anybody to talk to me. I was ashamed. I was embarrassed about the actions that I had done in my past that were now coming out and infecting, not just affecting, but infecting every relationship that I was part of. The environment becomes safe because we continuously try and love on people in a variety of ways. We specifically say that this is a safe place, and we repeat it often enough. We actually have guidelines that make confidentiality and anonymity an important aspect, so that if you show up, we won't tell anybody that you're there. What you say and share in small group stays in small group. And it's my job. I'll say I'm the enforcer
Mhm.
if those guidelines are violated, because many people will say in small group, I've never told anybody this before. And at that moment, I just want to take my shoes off, because it's a holy moment.
Yeah.
It's like Moses standing in the presence of God.
Right.
I see God in action in these people. I'm like, this is a holy moment. And so from having some pretty firm guidelines to demonstrating to the newcomer that we can share. And I can share very deeply about personal things, embarrassing things that normal conversations do not include. And when multiple people share that, they can get a sense that this actually might be an okay place for me to lay one out there. And I'll start small. And if that's okay, then maybe I'll go with something more. And eventually they become integrated into that whole thought process of safe environment. I'm good to share. No one's going to say anything. I'll come back next week.
Oh, that's awesome. That's really good. I know that's always a huge step in that process, is just being able to get it out, even in talking to people in any kind of sin, as we try to overcome it with the Lord. Even it's that confession moment.
Yes.
It's the letting it out, letting other people in to help you. And
yes.
That's big.
Yes.
So what would you say to someone, anybody that's watching, that might be interested in coming, think they have something, but they're kind of afraid to take that first step? How would you encourage them?
I would say, again, Thursdays at 6:00, enter through the south entrance right there by the playground. Follow the green footsteps on the ground, on the floor, all the way to the chapel. You can contact the office and ask about CR, and have them contact me. And I will meet you at the door and help encourage you to come in. We have so many people, as part of their story, who will say, I sat in my car, I couldn't make it, I drove home. I came back the next week, I got out of my car, went to the door, couldn't make it, went back home. Got out the following week, finally made it into the building, sat there, couldn't stay there, got up and went home. And finally, by the fourth or fifth attempt, they actually were able to stay. They may not have stayed for the whole small group portion as well, but they stayed, and eventually they came back. So having difficulty wanting to attend a program that is unlike anything else in terms of honesty, transparency, openness, it's not unnatural for people to want to, it's not unnatural for people to have difficulty in showing up through the doors. And we acknowledge that. We acknowledge that every week, that it's difficult to come in. But we say one step at a time, and maybe it's literally one step at a time to make it into the room. and sit in the back if that's what you want to do. Most of us started back there, and give it a try, experience it. One time will not fix anybody, so it really becomes a keep coming back type of a program.
Yeah, well, wonderful. Well, Dave, thank you so much for the time you put into CR, for the time you put into the church, your service. And as we want to encourage any of you, our doors are open. We would love to have you at the church, at CR. Just come worship with us, and we hope to see you soon.